sports fans of all ages. Broadcasting live from the heart of the Duke City. It's time for a great afternoon of sports entertainment talk. Get ready for in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports, two men on with your hosts, Van Nunlip and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
It's Monday, Albuquerque. You know what that means?
Boo. Bleep John Cena.
Cena sucks. I am Fred Slow, back from the city of sin. Spent all of last week in Las Vegas for WrestleMania and WrestleMania adjacent activities. You are Van Nunley. Van, welcome.
Oh, it's good to be here, baby. Speaking of WrestleMania, had a blast.
Uptown Sports Bar Saturday.
Carlos Tenorio producing the program. I had to take a second to mute Van's live stream on the video because he can't figure it out. Carlos, welcome.
Hello. I'm here.
That's what you're bringing on a Monday.
Dang.
That is.
You want to take the rest of the day off too?
Case of the Mondays, huh?
Yeah, case of the Monday. It's been a day, boys.
No.
It's been a day.
You think
me.
it's been more of a day for you than it is us or friends of the show who wake up early
Yeah.
to go to their day jobs to
Trying.
support their families before they get off and go to their night jobs to support their families, and they're all mourning the Pope? You think you've had a harder day than them?
I'm also mourning the Pope and have been up pretty early too.
And
Going to
I'm over
class,
here-
doing homework. Yeah.
Counting down the excruciating minutes until Monday Night Raw tonight, whenever John Cena comes out and tells us how he's going to ruin wrestling forever.
Is that what's going to happen?
I'm actually looking forward to that.
I'm so excited. And I'm
Because
gonna-
I thought they ruined wrestling last night with that boring ass main event.
okay.
That
This-
was awful.
Yeah, this is a classic mess around by WWE, bringing in Travarius Scott.
He was awful.
He was terrible.
He was terrible.
Terrible. Can we talk about the psychology of wrestling real quick?
Go for it.
All right. I was there. I got back to Albuquerque this morning. I was at WrestleMania both nights. And the problem with John Cena is that he is unarguably the greatest to ever do it. Hands down.
Big fan of him in real life.
Same. And as a wrestler.
That missed me. But
See, what are you doing? Hey,
real life John Cena, absolutely a dude.
hey, he wants you to hate him. So he's actually doing it perfect. So the story is he has to fight Carlos. He has to fight Dusty Rhodes' kid, Cody Rhodes.
Mhm.
Because Cody Rhodes, he's the American Nightmare.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, he's the champ for over 1 year. And it's kind of a lame trope at this point, but the title really only changes at WrestleMania anymore.
Sure.
We should get away from that. Not a right now conversation. But the crowd loves John Cena, and he's become heel, and they've wanted this for so long.
Have they?
Heel is bad guy.
I don't think they want that.
They don't, because they cheer the stuff out of him. And the only way to make you hate him
Mm-hmm.
is when he tells you he likes Travis Scott. So when Travis Scott comes out, and we can't play any of his music here because
Well, I mean,
we have taste.
garbage person
Terrible.
in WWE, but counterintuitive to John Cena.
Yeah,
Garbage person in real life
he's
as well.
not great.
Yeah,
He's not great.
not a fan. And I want to like him because he's from my hometown.
Are you talking about H-Town?
Yes, I am. So it hurts even more that he's such a pile of garbage.
Yeah, he's not from Houston. He's from Houston. Dumb. So you put him out there to try to get the crowd to boo John, but they'll never boo John Cena.
They did ad nauseum
This-
last night.
now-
I don't know which
Must have been piped in over your broadcast.
the
I was
program you
there
were watching.
in the venue.
A lot of bleep John Cena stuff.
Hey, every time Cody
Or were
Rhodes,
they like asking permission? Like, I would like to.
yes,
Please, sir, may I boo
Bleep
Mr.
John
Cena?
Cena. What I want to do. That's what is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Maybe I heard it differently.
I just kept going, not my Cena. 'Cause I like what people say about the president and soon the Pope.
Cool.
There's a Pope Francis passed away today. I don't know if you saw that, Carlos. Just heads up. I don't know if that was on your algorithm.
Yeah.
It sadly was.
JD Vance killed him, is what I read.
Yeah, he broke the college football playoff trophy and killed the Pope, and I would hate to be the next person on his
All right,
schedule.
Van-
It comes in threes.
Hey,
It does.
all right, new segment on the show.
Mhm.
JD Vance bingo card segment.
Okay.
All right, we start
What did he do
What
next?
did he do?
Broke a college football playoff trophy.
Oh, did Nick
killed the Pope.
Castellanos hit a home run last night when the Pope died?
I actually have him in my fantasy starting lineup today, and they dropped the betting odds today on him hitting home run from plus 750
Who's that?
to plus 560 on FanDuel as soon as
That's
announcement
incredible.
of the Pope dying was announced.
As a Prize Pick show, I hate that you gave me that update, but as a fan of funny stuff, thank you. Promo code KNML, $50 on your first $5 lineup. So Travis Scott comes out, and John Cena,
Who is bad at it?
yeah, he's bad. John Cena gives him the rub. Okay. Crowd loses it. He goes on to beat Cody Rhodes with a low blow and a cheap shot, both. And in these big matches, it's usually Charles Robinson. He's like the oldest, best referee in the whole thing. But they had some young blood out there.
Mhm.
So you're like, oh, he's gonna get hit.
Yeah.
You know right away.
Yeah, some septuagenarian can't take a bump
No.
out there.
No. So John Cena cheats, and he becomes, for the 17th time, world heavyweight champion. The most by any pro wrestler in the history of WWE, WWF.
Was Ric Flair in attendance? Like, like when
Spears-
Ricky Henderson broke the stolen base record, or
Yeah.
Barry Bonds broke the home run record, the
Wayne
previous.
Gretzky and
Yeah.
that guy, the other day.
Whoever's the other
Right,
hockey
yeah.
dude.
Alex.
Nobody cares.
So-
Whatever. Was-
Charlotte Flair was there.
I saw that because I called her match.
I'm not a guy who talks off about stuff outside of what you can view on the TV.
Mhm.
Because I don't think that's the best radio. I spent Saturday night with Charlotte Flair.
Wow.
You ever thought you were around someone who was recognizable? Because you have not been until you were around Charlotte Flair. Like, to try to navigate the Fountain Blue
Okay.
with Charlotte Flair in a sea of 120,000 pro wrestling fans.
If she wasn't in wrestling garb, I wouldn't know what she would look like.
She's the prettiest girl in the whole world.
Is she? Or is her plastic surgeon the most talented guy in South Beach?
I mean, are you
That's
saying,
what I'm concerned
are you
about.
saying I am or I am not handsome as a
She-
recipient of much plastic surgery?
Looks like every early divorcee who had a little extra cash in their pocket.
Oh, yeah. She loves going in,
Yeah.
getting a little touch up, getting a little tox, setting everything right. What's that charcoal toothpaste they fool everyone into buying?
Sure. That too.
That too.
Whatever.
The whole
what's that?
thing.
Next week on My
Yeah.
Favorite Addiction, Charlotte Flair goes under the knife again.
I do yoga for 2 minutes a day and I've never been in better shape. Self-affirmation from my Georgia O'Keeffe inspired playing cards. That's her life. The real story of WrestleMania, not 17-time world champion John Cena, not the New Day, not Stone Cold's return. It was how both nights, 65,000 people both nights for at or near 120. No one could leave.
Yeah. Saw that.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
It was wild.
Did they have the bridge closed between Mandalay Bay and the stadium for people? And if so,
Not closed. No, not at all.
really?
No.
So ongoing traffic on that bridge. That's wild.
Oh, that pedestrian bridge, it was open to pedestrians. Is
Yeah.
that what you're asking? You know, it
that's
was
what I'm
open.
asking,
Yeah. Yeah, they were just taking it. But
here's the problem. Allegiant Stadium has never had to test out all of their fans
mhm.
leaving at the same time.
Yeah.
Because usually Raiders fans are trickling out third quarter, fourth quarter,
Yeah.
whenever
If
the
we're
game's out
lucky.
of hand.
If we're
Yeah.
lucky.
if Raiders fans are
Yeah.
even there, because
If
the
you
way
make it to
Mhm.
halftime.
that
Yeah.
city works,
Yeah.
it's actually the visiting team's fans.
Oh yeah.
But the infrastructure is just not there. There's not enough spots for ride share. There's not enough spots for parking. There's literally not enough roads to get to it.
There's no parking.
And they don't do a cutoff like at the venue. Like, it's not like, hey, it's the main event. We're going to stop selling booze. No, they're like, we're actually going to leave everything open
Sell
until
more
to 90 minutes after because people are
Yeah.
just going to sit here.
Yeah. Genius move.
So smart. And then we're going out for fun a couple nights. This, like, oh, God, dude, I accidentally ended up at another Machine Gun Kelly concert.
Another one?
Oh.
I had a nickel for every time. I'd have 2 nickels.
Van, it happened again.
Oh no.
I do this thing, and I'm very big. I'm like 6.5 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't weigh as much as I used to, but I'm still a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
I do this thing when I go to like events, like sporting events, concerts, whatever, where I try to the best of my ability, sneak into back of the house areas. It's like a game I play.
Yeah.
Like what door can I get through? And I accidentally ended up at a Machine Gun Kelly concert.
I'm so sorry.
And I
It
think-
happened again.
I think I have to stop playing that game.
Did he headline or did he open for someone else?
I have no clue.
Because you left so fast.
Yes. I was machine gunning for the door. Like, that was not for me.
What venue was this?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask something stupid like that.
I just want to know how you ended up at this.
A series of tunnels.
Have
Every
you been to
building,
Las
every
Vegas?
building in Vegas is connected to another building underground.
He walked through the Tesla tunnels to get there.
I forgot about those. Rideshare was unreal coming out of this WrestleMania thing. Boys, not joking. Like triple digits on the Uber. Triple digits. Where you want to go? Anywhere? Cool. Give me a C note. What? And no, like the rail's not there. You know what I mean? You can't do any of that stuff. So you watch the
A
pun-
lot of people were doing rails in Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But the punchline here is pro wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
Pro wrestling fan does not go to things. Pro wrestling fan does not leave their home. And they make this pilgrimage to WrestleMania because that's what it is. It's a religious experience. And they're like, we have to walk any amount of distance.
Yeah.
We're cooked. We have to have
I saw some absolutely hilarious
units.
videos of wrestling fans.
Yes.
And when I say wrestling fans, you draw your own conclusion of what size that person is. So I saw videos of wrestling fans trying to run up the down escalator
They could not do that.
and failing miserably. It was a white knuckle thrill ride of hilarity.
Because we have the internet now.
This one guy threw his backpack to one of his friends at the top of the
Yeah.
escalator and like a just slow motion 80s action movie.
Yeah.
Like went
Scene
down
from
the escalator.
Cliffhanger.
No. And I laughed and laughed and laughed.
Because we have the internet now, these videos don't make it to America's Funniest Home Videos because they go straight to the internet.
Sure.
But-
That would be up there.
But this would be up there. People struggling with gravity would be up there. Anyways, had a ton of fun. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
Very good weekend in Las Vegas. Big thank you to the WWE for being so hospitable to me.
Hey, how about recent Duke City Championship Wrestling contributor Jacob Fatu throwing that belt on after a big W?
You're asking,
That's cool.
you're asking me about former Duke City Championship Wrestling wrestler Jacob Fatu becoming United States champion at WrestleMania.
Correct.
Let's go.
Yeah. I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong,
All right, I will.
because I am not an authority on this
All right.
whatsoever. I believe the last loss Jacob Fatu took
Was to Hobo Hank.
was to our champion, our
That's correct,
hero,
yeah.
Hobo Hank.
100%.
Yeah, baby.
So does that make Hobo Hank the new champ? Like in this
By
weird
de facto.
route? By de facto.
hmm
Good on Hobo Hank.
Yeah. He's the U.S. champ.
The alley behind Frontier is popping off after that.
That's where he hails from. That's the reference that Carlos made. I did a fun sit down earlier today. Doug Campbell joined me on the program, Leaders of Enchantment podcast. You know, he, friend of the show, friend of mine, he is the title sponsor, van of the big upcoming tour of the Gila, which of course goes on in Silver City. Super fun biking event. It's just tremendous. It's an off-road thing. Think like a Tour de France kind of thing. Yeah.
It's no northern New Mexico,
I think I said
but
off-road. I meant
beautiful
road.
country down
Yeah.
there. Beautiful.
Beautiful. So he brought his friend who I met, Fortunato Ferrazza, who is
Bless
from
you.
Italy. Talked about the Pope a little bit off air, of course. He's from Italy. You know, the whole country just shuts down.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't play soccer or nothing.
Yeah, Serie A canceled
What?
all their matches today.
Who?
Serie A.
Serie.
Mine just turned
Oh.
on.
Same. How many different voices is that?
Could have been me on
It
the
denied.
Reaper.
It denied it. Yeah.
There's no way it could have been Carlos because of headphones. Like it had to be me.
What?
Your Siri turned on.
Yeah, just it flashed.
Yeah,
Just for a
from
second.
me.
And then it was like,
echoing.
hey, that's not you, Van. Nice try, other
Yeah,
person.
Way to tease. So I sat down with Bay. We talked about the big upcoming race this week. Starts on Wednesday, Tour of the Gila. We'll play that today. That'll be your Isham Dental soundbite of the day. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hockey was terrible this past weekend. 0 games went to overtime, which means the playoffs suck. So we'll talk about that too. NBA, some of the worst losses in playoff history. Like, boys, sleep on the first round of the NHL and NBA playoffs.
You gotta they learned a valuable lesson yesterday, the
Well,
NBA
less
specifically.
teams.
You gotta stagger the 1-2 days.
Mhm.
The 1 and 2 teams, hey, they gotta play on other days.
Mhm.
There's 3 blowouts and 1 good game.
That and so much more. We're here till 7 o'clock. We're going to laugh a lot today. It's 2 Men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, Sports Animal.
Is pen to pad, is word to mic, dear listener.
Welcome back to Two Men On.
Mail order delivery.
I don't
Unseal the
know what channels to watch the hockey playoffs on.
Unseal the
Oh, just doing them all, huh?
One of each. Was it the Bass Pro Shops channel?
It's something like
is that what it is? Could it possibly be the Truckers Warehouse?
What is TSN?
Trucker Station National.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I was saying I'm at WrestleMania all weekend. This, that, whatever. I'm busy. I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? Like, I'm gonna get ready for the show. I'm gonna catch a bunch of highlights. There were like no highlights. Like, these games weren't close. And again, playoffs is for overtime. Got to be really clear about this. And I'm looking at the limited highlights there were. I'm like, what are these score bugs? Like, what am I looking at here? I saw ESPN had some, and the rest of it was like, I don't know how people are consuming this. That's the problem with hockey. You want to watch some stuff? It's just on something called SN. What is SN?
I believe that's Canadian. Don't quote me.
That's what I'm saying. Can you not? Is there not a US option for this thing? It just drives me crazy because I'm a hockey guy now. I think I've talked about that. TNT is for basketball. I'm a hockey guy now. And if you're going to make people watch a 5-1 drubbing of Colorado over Dallas.
Yeah, you can't just switch it over to the good game.
No. What are we doing?
Except for Rockets Warriors. That's what was going down in the NBA on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, that was boring.
Nothing was good this weekend.
Thank goodness I was choring all day. I wasn't
You
forced to watch that.
Hold on. You toured on the Lord today?
Yeah.
Especially
and
the
Cheech and
Easter?
Chong's Day. Yeah. 420 and Easter.
Wow.
Hey, now, first off, how dare you? Jesus was a carpenter. I was doing woodwork. It was all in the Lord's name. A lot of woodworking stuff on Sunday.
Good for you, Van.
Thank you.
It's a good way to spend Sunday.
I don't know anyone's profession outside of what they tell me. I know
Were you unaware our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was a carpenter?
I'm unaware that you now identify as a carpenter. I know you.
When I'm doing carpentry, I'm a carpenter.
Dog, I would not trust you to whittle.
No, me either. Yeah, keep me away from knives.
Well,
but like power tools, I'm money.
What were you even making?
Yeah, great question.
Oh, good question, Carlos. I was bracing beams
Me for this story.
for cabinets that are going in soon.
Oh. Did you make the cabinets or were they like,
I will be making the cabinets.
wow.
When I say making the cabinets,
Mhm.
I will
I-
be following the instructions.
No.
we'll be screwing them into
Yeah, the prefabs from the
I'll be
depot.
screwing them into the nailers that I put into my walls yesterday. Whoever made the cabinets, that would be, I'm assuming, some underage Vietnamese child.
So you're saying when you
Hey,
Work
thanks for pausing the tariffs.
work with
Shout out.
when you work with wood, you're a woodworker. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Years ago, I was on the dating app.
Is this a build 1,000 bridges thing? Is
Yeah.
that what you're doing here?
Years ago, I'm on the dating app, Carlos. You don't know about that because you fall in love with everyone you meet in history class. But
Whoa.
oh, sorry, sociology class.
No, that's not where we met
Oh,
either.
sorry, trigonometry class.
Nope.
Okay, do you want me to keep trying?
You know what? We met each other at a hot air ballooning, believe it or not.
Nope, do believe that as I know you.
All two of you.
Years ago, I'm on the dating app and go and meet this gal. And this, that, the other thing, whatever. Hey, what do you do professionally? I was like, the dating app tells me you're a bartender. She says, I'm not a bartender. I tend bar. I go, I don't know if I'm impressed.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
Like, are you?
Like
I'm blown away by this
at
response.
a gym? Do you make sure that the bars in a gym are held up together? Are you bending rebar for a construction project? What?
I was like, are you taking Jay-Z quotes and applying them to other professions? I go, and that has stuck with me forever. I'm not a bartender, man. 10 bar.
Yeah, I'm not a woodworker. I work
wood.
I'm not a businessman.
Business.
Business man.
That one actually doesn't even work as well as the other two.
Mm-mm. No.
The one the tender a bar gave me, way better. I don't remember that gal's name. I remember that she tended a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wait till somebody 11's it.
Hey, that's a psychological thing to me. I wonder how often I or you, Van, not you, Carlos, you don't have this kind of impact on people.
Thanks.
How often we are unnamed person in someone's story. Yeah, there was just this
In
guy.
my case, it's always named. It's named. Fred, it could be like, oh God, it was this white guy name. It was like Steve or Rick or
Yeah.
It's right at the tip
Fred.
of my tongue.
It was something like that.
Frank. It was for sure Frank.
And then when it's me, it's like, oh, his name was Van.
Yeah.
It's the first Van I've ever met in
Mhm.
my life. And he was weird. Like he's gonna be in that, he's gonna be in the back of my mind forever.
Him and his red hair, man.
There aren't a lot of white Freds.
Really now.
No.
Huh.
No, there's some like in the black community. There's some
I met an Italian Fred over the weekend.
in the okay.
Yeah.
Federico.
I bought said scrap wood from him so I could make my cabinet nailers. Shout out to Fred,
All right.
Rio Rancho.
So he did you dirty because
Go on.
the word scrap wood means it's scrap.
Mm-hmm.
You should not have paid for that.
Oh, but it's like new quality wood.
All right. Well, not the way you described it earlier. That confused the listener.
Okay. Scrap doesn't immediately mean you got to throw it away.
Just scrap
means
something.
there was a cutting from a larger project that I needed a smaller piece. So I got smaller pieces.
There's just extra left over.
Yeah.
Carlos has never used a saw in his life.
I will have you know, yes, I have. I tend to my tree in my backyard a lot.
All right. You owe me $20, Fred.
I'll take pictures next time. Do you want that? I'll send proof.
A little bit that I understand the carpentry industry, which is minimum.
Also, by the way, pruning blades on a Sawzall will change your life for tree trimming.
Good to know.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I believe it's called waste. I literally think it's 20% to waste, right? Isn't that what it's called, or am I making this up?
What?
Like if you're putting a bid on something,
Mm-hmm.
20% to waste.
Sure.
That stuff is waste.
No, it's not because it got used inside my home
I believe
for
that makes
cabinet nailers.
Recycle.
That's the word
Mm.
waste means it didn't go to use. All of that went to use. Very good use.
I believe. Can we settle on salvaged,
Repurposed.
upcycled?
I like that.
Yeah. Also, now that I know that you're making the cabinets of Theseus, like
Mhm.
I really want to know more about this project.
Yeah, all those cabinets are from probably upwards of 30 different projects. And I took their leavings. I took their Bull Durham, the Bull Durham of wood,
Okay.
Nice.
and I took that and upcycled it to functional cabinet nailers. You're welcome.
Instead of watching terrible NHL and NBA.
Correct.
And baseball's 3 weeks in and it's done nothing to impress me.
Wildly productive. Hey, there's some great storylines in Major League Baseball.
Like when Francisco Lindor hit that walk-off on Friday night, and I thought, okay, that's probably as bad as it's going to get for the Cardinals this weekend against the Mets. And then
Mm,
they swept them in a 4-game series for the first time since 1986. Is that what you're talking about?
I believe that's one of the storylines.
Just saying, the Mets haven't won a World Series since 1986.
Yeah,
so
you know what?
maybe-
You know
maybe
what
this
else
is
they've
it.
done? Lost one game at home. They're 11-1.
Or the last 8 out of the last 12 times Mike Trout's bat has touched a baseball, it left a Major League Baseball park.
Wow.
Yeah.
The year I don't draft him in fantasy. Go figure. Topes have been tearing it up, though. Van, where you at? You said you weren't going to miss a day game. Were you at the day game yesterday?
That was an afternoon game.
Uh-huh. First pitch was at noon.
Yeah, it was a doubleheader because I was out of town, but I heard there was actual winter on
It was a
Saturday.
Yeah.
double header.
We got snowed out on Saturday.
Who's we? What do you do?
We is
Stop
Albuquerque.
doing that.
We as Burgueños.
Also-
Almost everything in Albuquerque got shut down on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Then why did so many people show up to your WrestleMania watch party?
Because
Did
it was
anything else
bringing
to do?
it was bringing the heat, and it melted the snow around the Hooters on San Mateo. There was also a Santana concert that night, but
In the world of talk radio,
Did you hear Carlos's segue right there?
Yeah, I did.
It was so smooth.
thank you.
This life ain't good enough. I can change.
Did you go to that concert? And that's why you know this.
You don't know the song "Smooth" by Rob Thomas and Santana?
When you said smooth, I thought criminal.
Oh, okay. No, it was not.
My world to lift you up.
There you go. I hope he did good music, not just those songs.
I wish I would have known, but my friend's car broke down on the way to Santana, so that's how we spent our Saturday
You
night.
never made it to
I
Santana?
never made it, but my father, who is tuned in, did make it to Santana and
Now-
looked like he had a good time.
Question
Oh,
here.
Bummer. Also, like,
Why did he stop loving you and not take you to Santana with him?
yeah.
Oh, I
Hey,
didn't know he
Pops,
was going to
pick me
go.
up.
I didn't know he was going to Santana until I saw his Facebook post. So, I hope him and my sister and everyone else that went had a good time at Santana. It
Yeah.
looked like fun.
Follow-up question to the weather on Saturday, because I was not in town. I was in Las Vegas, the good one. Were all Ubers shut down too? Like,
Yeah.
what kept you from
You couldn't just put your friend's flashers on and hopped in an Uber?
What's your deal?
It was
Just
the
like,
check engine light came on and it was 32 degrees. So we decided, yeah, you know what? Maybe this is a sign from up above.
Easier explanation next time you tell this story. Mention how soft you are.
Yeah.
That'll make it make way more sense. It's
Hey,
2
hey.
Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
sports animal.
I make it hot to death, hot to death, hot to death. You can see me flex, but now I'm no stranger.
Welcome back to Two Men On.
Hot to death,
What are you doing Thursday night, Van?
hot to death.
Oh, I don't know. What are you doing?
You can see me flex,
You and I
but
are
now
broadcasting
I'm no
live
stranger.
from the Hooters on San Mateo, doing a super fun draft watch party for the NFL. Come hang out with you, I, and Carlos. What are you doing Thursday night?
I'm producing the show Thursday, and then I might head on out over there and join you gentlemen.
Rush on over to
Yeah.
Hooters on San Mateo.
Also, move it like a gingerly pace if you want to. It's not like you have to.
The Raiders are at 6, so
Oh, they
Ashton Genty or
Ashton-
GTFO.
Janton Genty, Ashton Genty,
they draft at 6 p.m.
6 overall pick.
I would not take the running back.
Really?
No,
Who would you take at 6?
best player available.
Which would hopefully be him.
It's him.
I would say would
What?
be him at 6. Yeah.
He's the third best player in the draft. Travis Hunter, number 1.
And 2.
Abdul Carter, number 2. Ashton Genty, number 3.
Cam Ward's the best player.
Cam Ward, number 4.
Oh,
Cam Ward's the best quarterback.
At what?
You're not the best player. Best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah. He's all highlights all the time. That's the thing you want if you
Mhm.
want to be like me and make money and sell jerseys. My favorite part of the
There's a ton of highlights of Shador throwing screen passes. Those are still highlights.
and his jersey getting retired. He's so great.
his jersey got retired
Mhm.
You missed that one at the end of last week, huh?
Yep.
by the
You were on assignment.
Buffaloes.
I sent you to WrestleMania,
Yep. The Buffs
Now,
retired his jersey.
here's the thing you don't do.
Colorado, not the Bills.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You don't retire a cool number. Was he number 2?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's a cool number.
Yeah.
Unless they're the Yankees.
And now all you have to do is go 13-12 at Colorado. You can get your jersey retired.
And be the coach's kid.
Oh, wait. He's Dion's kid?
Yeah.
I never made that connection. It's the same last name. I should have.
Don't forget
I
going.
should have.
Don't forget going 0-1 in bowl games against BYU as well.
Owen, the University of Win. That's what he did.
I think I'm retired of all the hype around him.
I never bought into it. All I got to do is watch the tape.
Does he have the NCAA Division I record for career passing touchdowns, or is that Cam Ward? I can't remember.
It's Cam Ward.
Okay.
It's Cam Ward.
His jersey's not retired by the U, I don't think.
Well, hold up.
Because you can't retire all the good players at Miami. There's
exactly.
too many. Just 2001 had like 60 NFL players.
Hey, maybe I can't, but you can.
Nice.
I mean, you could start retiring those numbers if we're going to go to triple digits eventually. Once we open up triple digits, it's a whole new
It's a
ball
whole
game.
new thing.
Whole new ball game for retired numbers.
I would be 316.
I mean, the Yankees will have to do it eventually.
Numbers.
How many good numbers they have?
0 through 9 for sure are retired by the New York Yankees.
No,
New phenom, Steve Carlson.
that's already a name. That's
has
already
chooses the last number in Yankees history. 83. He's our last double-digit number in Yankees history.
Everyone else is like 999. Now batting for the Yankees, number 152,
Yeah,
Billy
it's coming.
Joe.
All right, here are the retired numbers for the Yankees. Carlos called it. I had the article up, and now it's not loading.
I can tell you who number 1 is. Billy Martin.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, twice. 9, 10, 15, 16, 20, 21, 23, 32, 37, 42, 44, 46.
42 twice.
42 twice, yeah.
49, 51, 52. So
That's
there
so
you go.
many numbers. That's half of the numbers. You just rattled off half of the alphabet of numbers.
Does Brett Gardner know that his 11 is getting disrespected right here?
Too soon for the Brett, I think.
Forgot about Brett Gardner. Completely forgot about Brett Gardner.
Wait till and watch. They're gonna have 99 retired. You know the way Judge is playing.
Does Brendan Ryan know that 13 is getting disrespected over here?
Josh Donaldson's number 20.
Isn't he already gone?
Yeah.
20 is retired. I just said that.
Whose number was it?
I don't know.
What?
Phil Rizzuto.
Really? Oh yeah, it was.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Billy Martin, number 1 though for the New York Yankees. Only retired because George Steinbrenner felt bad when he died.
No, that's
Retired
not
his
the
number.
only reason why, you idiot.
That Steinbrenner and Martin did not like each other.
20
One so bad.
Oh, hey, that's Jorge Posada, 20.
Yeah.
There are some guys on here that shouldn't have their numbers retired, like Paul O'Neill.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
He did win
Ooh, what did
5 World Series.
What
though.
did he have on the Steinbrenner family?
Is Don Mattingly's number retired by the Yankees?
Yeah, 23, obviously.
23, yeah.
All right, here's who should not have their number retired. Oh, I'm going to get. Yeah, all right. I don't know, dude. This is a good list. like,
If
But
Paul-
they've had
if
so
Paul-
many legends.
Paul O'Neill is if Paul O'Neill's your number 1. I mean that's
he got to go.
yeah.
Not him. Probably not Bernie Williams. No, you can retire him. No, these are all good. Never mind. Yankees do it better than anyone else. We wrap up hour 1 when we get back. 2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
This re-
that man.
Welcome back. 2 Men On. Thanks for joining us on a Monday. Little quick hitter here. The 49ers and George Kittle are pretty far apart in contract talks, Van. Also, he spent all weekend at WrestleMania. I think he's cool.
Yeah. How close is George Kittle and Triple H on contract negotiations? Because that's where he should be.
Well, they're soon going to have to replace Pat McAfee because he's not getting the love that he was getting from the universe. On his entrance at WrestleMania, the Boo Birds were there.
Ooh. I think he hit his saturation
Yeah,
point.
played out.
He's everywhere.
Can't have Christmas every day.
Mm-hmm.
You need one day of Christmas. Can't do it all. You know how I know? I try.
Mm.
He's never really been a winner.
He was a punter, so.
No, not George Kittle.
Oh. It's like, I'm here for the McAfee slander.
McAfee had that onside kick in a Super Bowl. I mean, he's like a winner.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He also had that one against the Texans, too.
I don't know anything about that.
Made $1 billion doing what we do.
But this George Kittle, he's fine. But, dog, you don't win big games.
I recall the last time Kittle was seen in that stadium, he was losing a Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs.
Now, the last time he was in that stadium, I was concerned he was going to get in the ring and help Penta beat Dominic Mysterio in a fatal four-way match. Because that was this past weekend. Also, you put a sweet mask on George Kittle. I'm into that tag team.
That's what we need. Another white guy in a mask. Cultural appropriating lucha libres.
When we get back from the break, it's our Isham Diddle soundbite of the day. I sat down with Doug Campbell, talked to he about the Leaders of Enchantment podcast and their support of the Tour of the Gila. It's a super fun road race in Silver City. Talk about the history of it, all that has to do with it. He brought his very good friend, Fortunato Ferrara, who is an Italian van. So enjoy that little sit down that we had. 2 Men On. 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. We're taped alive for this one because we're talking to some busy guys. This is what we're doing. Doug Campbell joins us, friend of the show, does about 1 million things, and my very new friend, Fortunato Ferreira.
Perfect.
How close was that? Doug,
Really
put that
good.
right on your mouth for me. Boys, we're talking Tour of the Gila. Smarten me up. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how we can support. Let me know how New Mexicans can come out and be a part of the big event.
Yeah, so let me give you some background. So Tour of the Gila, located in Silver City, New Mexico.
Mhm.
It's been running nonstop since the mid 1980s. And when I say stage race, essentially think Tour de France, multiple days, accumulated time. Winner is the person who completes the entire race in the shortest amount of time.
Yep.
And the significance of this is that this is the only, at least for men, and one of two for women, so is both professional men's and women's field, that is governed by the World Governing Body of Cycling, which is called UCI. And that's very significant because if you are an up-and-coming professional cyclist, really, in I'd say North America, this is one of the few opportunities that you have to accumulate points, which is necessary to advance your racing career. Otherwise, you got to fly overseas.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal in it. And the reason why my podcast is leaning in is that it's unique, it's special. While higher profile races have come and gone, Tour of Colorado, Tour of Utah, Tour of California, etc., Tour of the Gila has continued on. Little engine that could.
Yeah. And we've talked about your story on the program before with your biking history and obviously Leaders of Enchantment podcast. I think all of our listeners are familiar with. So kind of a perfect cycle when you bring sports and what you're doing culturally together and celebrating New Mexico. And Fortunato, you're a competitor.
I am.
You're a racer.
Yes.
I looked up your history. You've done 20 races in a year. And I go, well, okay. Like I'm expecting just like the biggest thighs of all time when you come in, but you're like the thing I see at the Tour de France. You're the look, you're the whole experience.
Well, first of all, I'm not a professional rider like the big guys that are gonna race in Silver City. The cool thing about the Tour of the Gila is they give out opportunity also to amateur riders to somewhat high level, like maybe myself, to compete in a similar event, multiple days, multiple stages, in a community that is very welcoming to people all across the state, all across the nation. So it's just a very great vibe, man. I love to race bikes.
And obviously, Doug, you guys were talking about the multiple stages with the multiple days. How do you get ready for a 4-day event like this? Like, does the preparation start 4 months ago? Like, how do you get to this point?
Well, I always ride the year around, and in cycling, it's all about consistency. Definitely, you have to go for the winter, and you try to pick for right now for late spring here in New Mexico.
Love that. Yeah, I know nothing about the discipline it would take to get this thing done. All right, so Leaders in Enchantment podcast, your name's all over the Tour de Gila. Talk to me about why that's significant, though. Talk to me about not just the individuals here competing, but those coming from around the world, how they're going to be able to see what you're doing and how you're exposing New Mexico now to the world.
Yeah, so honestly, my audience for the podcast itself, the audience is not necessarily cyclists. The audience is, again, New Mexicans. And so what I'm really trying to highlight is what a unique event this is, what a jewel this is, and it's right here in our state. And so honestly, on my podcast, we're not going to be talking about how you did on yesterday's stage, or it's more about your journey. What does cycling mean to you? And most of these people are not from New Mexico. What do you think of New Mexico?
Yeah. And in Silver City is such a unique exposure to New Mexico.
And that whole area, Gila Wilderness. I mean, it's just such a, it's an undiscovered jewel.
Well, and, talking logistically, depending on how people get there, you can fly into Silver City. There's a little airport there. It's nice. But
I'll be driving.
Right. And that's the thing, right? If they fly into Albuquerque, they're going to get to experience our state, from the drive. Or if they drive into Phoenix, they're going to get to experience at least the Southwest, from the drive. And I do think people who come to this region for the first time leave with just a really wonderful taste in their mouth. So if we can not just give them visually what we have in their environment, but give us our stories and our culture.
Absolutely.
So how significant? Okay. Men and women, you said.
Men and women.
Okay. Registrations are done. They're not done. The field is set. Like, how does it work this upcoming week?
I would imagine, the field is set at this point. The race starts for professionals on Wednesday and for amateurs on Thursday.
Oh, how incredible is that? Okay. And then what is a winning time? Like Fortunato, help me understand, if you're going to be in the mix at the end, how do you have to perform?
Well, so the first stage this year for the amateur, it's an uphill finish. So you have to definitely save something in your tank in
Yes.
order to be able to. It's a pretty steep climb, and then you try to manage your effort for the rest of the other 3 days. And it depends. Like I like to race aggressively, so usually I try to go to the long distances. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you try also to look at your competition, see
Mhm.
the vibes, see understand who are the strong guys, if you can anticipate them, or if you're the strongest, that you can put some hammer down on them.
Is there significance to your guys' understanding of the timing of this? Is it based around other race schedules? Is it based off the weather? What makes right now the time for Tour of the Gila?
Well, I mean, I'm going to have to conjecture here because I'm not the authority figure. It's been in this late April timeframe for quite some time.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's early enough that we avoid the heat of the summer. Silver City's kind of it's in a funny spot, sort of in that transition from desert and high desert into alpine mountains. So I probably, if I had to guess, I'd say weather.
Yeah, that's what I would think too. It's like I said, it's the perfect time to expose the state to others. At the end of this event, individuals that don't just compete, but individuals that support, like, what do they walk away with? Like, what is their take-home emotion from either surviving or winning or competing or supporting?
Well, Fortunato, why don't you?
Well, I mean, like you go into cycling not for winning, but just because you're a kind of sadistic person and you like to suffer. Because no matter if you're fast or not, you're gonna suffer on a bike. So, and there's always a sense of accomplishment after 4 days of hard racing with people from all across the country. So that's definitely cool. Then for the spectator point of view, on Saturday in Silver City, there is what is called a criterium, which is like a NASCAR kind of race, if you want.
Cool.
It's very hectic. It's all around downtown. So you can see multiple laps of the pro. And it's really a party. There are people playing, food trucks, all the community is right there. And it's also open for everybody. So there's also what is called citizen race. So if you have never raced a bike and you have some free time and you want to be into a all-day party, come to Silver City and ride around downtown.
You and I, Doug, have talked about this off air before, but Tour of the Gila is in its 38th year.
Mm-hmm.
The innovation in technology in bicycles from 40 years ago is maybe the most significant change in sporting equipment ever.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Your bike, can you lift it up with one finger? Is it that light?
I don't know about one finger, maybe two.
Yeah. But that's not what it was years ago, right? Like, talk to us a little bit about how that's changed the dynamic of the race. Talk to us a little bit about how, if you're going to finish with a really competitive time, how you have to have a competitive team and competitive equipment.
So for the professional level, you definitely need a team support. The level is so high that if you're a solo rider, you're not going to be able to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You need team to take care of you, like, avoid the air and just let you unleash your power only when it's needed. In terms of bike technology, so there is a weight limit, which is, I do metric, 6.8 kilograms.
Okay, let me do that in my head. So that's okay. So
some pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's not just the weight, it's also the braking system. Now we use disc brakes, which is like motorbike kind of disc brakes. So the braking modulation is crazy. Aerodynamics is insane. The kits that those guys use are skin suits. So, they're very tight. So if you have a bit of belly, probably not the best looking stuff, but no, and the helmets, everything. But at the end of the day, you have to pedal, definitely bikes are getting more expensive, like a mid sedan car. But you can find some decent bike that allow you to race bicycle.
But the most important component is the engine.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, yes. All right. Doug Campbell is with us, obviously, Leaders of Enchantment podcast. You're competing too this weekend or not? What's the deal?
No, I am not competing.
What's up?
Those days
what?
I don't even own a road bike. I haven't owned a road bike in decades.
That's the one that gets you to come out, though, right? Where it's in this Saturday is the one that sounds the most enticing to me.
Yeah,
that's
that
what
would be the criterion downtown Silver City.
That's what I would go out for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine there'll be a lot of beer flowing.
The only bike race I've ever competed in was in St. Louis, Missouri. It was called the Tour de Donut. Are you guys familiar with this?
No, but I can imagine.
Yes. So it was, I'm going to tell you, it was like 20 miles. It was no amount of distance, but for every donut you ate, like, cause you could stop at these little donut booths, you would save a minute off your So people would end up with like massive negative times, but it was a huge fundraiser. And it
Because
was
they ate a ton of
because
donuts.
they ate so many donuts. It was the most little fun bike race of all
I don't
time.
know if I would condone that.
Well, I know what I don't know. Fortunato, Ferreira, and Doug Campbell, give me your final thoughts, boys. Let me know the last thought on Tour of the Gila.
My last thought is really culture and community.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of what I'm going to focus on for the Leaders of Enchantment podcast is the community that really has created and embraced this race. And I'll even use a very specific example. You asked what do the racers walk away with? Well, the winners of the race, they walk away with a very unique trophy, and that trophy is some unique pottery.
Oh, cool.
In the manner of the Mimbres people.
Yeah.
Which, think similar around the time of the Chaco people. Inhabited the Gila cliff dwellings. And so one unique aspect of that is all the winners get these large pieces of pottery.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then-
we'll spend some time talking about that.
Well, I'm super excited about that. I just had a follow up with them. Just hit me. Does the state support? Is like how?
do.
Yeah. How does the state of New Mexico support this effort? Like,
I believe they're a sponsor.
Yeah.
And so you will see the New Mexico True logo
I love
on
that.
one of the leaders' jerseys.
okay. Yeah. No, that's very important to me. I live in that world substantially in combat sports, and how fortunate the state of New Mexico is to have the state of New Mexico support individuals and bring in
Absolutely.
athletes and tourism to town.
Absolutely.
Boys, thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
us.
Whenever we get back from the break, well, Van rejoins us. It's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is brought to you by Sandia Area Federal Credit Union. Better banking without the bank.
Sandia Area Federal Credit Union brings you the banking and financial tools you need to climb your next peak. As strong and dependable as our Sandia Mountains, we're banking for New Mexico. Meet us today at sandia.org. Sandia Area, better banking without the bank. Federally insured by NCUA.
All right, traffic right now, you will see some slowdowns westbound on I-40 between about 2nd Street and Coors. Also dealing with some congestion eastbound on Alameda near Jefferson. Westbound Alameda, as you approach Coors, you'll see a little bit of a slowdown there as well. I-25 in the construction zone, traffic moving a bit slow in both directions there.
This report is brought to you by Malloy Los Lunas.
Everyone's talking about employee pricing, but Chevrolet doesn't need gimmicks. Get $6,000 cash back on a new 2024 Chevy Silverado. No gimmicks needed. MalloyChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. See dealer for all details.
If you see an accident, call the Traffic Tracker hotline at 767-9167. Brought to you by American Home Furniture and Mattress, serving the community since 1936. World class, local style. I'm Michael Carlisle from the 96.3 News Radio KKOB Traffic Center.
This is The Herd.
Wow, 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 wow.
With Colin Cowherd.
Resiliency is the key to success in life because it's really hard or everybody would be successful. He is a wizard. He can make shots nobody else can. He can buckle under pressure. As I watched yesterday, this was not Rory against Justin Rose. It was Rory McIlroy against Rory McIlroy.
This is The Herd on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on any.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Two Men On. Big thank you to Doug Campbell. Super nice to have he on with us, talking about Tour of the Gila. Big thank you to Fortunato Ferreira, who joined us as well, talking about what it takes to be a competitor.
It sounds like a bike racer's name.
Yeah, he was good voice too. Good strong Italian voice. On what a lot of people are calling Sinead O'Connor's favorite day. So
the passing of the Pope is what you're referring
You like
to.
that one?
Yeah,
You like
that's
that
a
one?
deep cut.
I thought that was
It's a deep cut, but a good one.
had a fair amount of time to put some together today. Had traveled back from Las Vegas this morning. Weird story in the news. You ready for it?
Yeah, hit me.
Shannon Sharp. He sucks. Sharp was sued on Sunday by a woman proceeding under the Jane Doe pseudonym. A 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada State Court alleging that Sharp committed assault, sexual assault, battery, sexual battery, and he engaged in the intentional infliction of emotional distress. Along the claims were he would record them during sexual activities and share that with individuals. Also, we said Jane Doe, but you actually know this person is Michelle because of a quote unquote accidental live stream video on Instagram.
That's the same person.
It's the same person.
Makes me start to think it wasn't accidental.
No, I do not believe it. It was all.
Unfortunately, this is from the same lawyer who just falsely accused Jay-Z and had to drop charges. And apparently the same lawyer has done this a lot historically, trying to get some like mildly truthful encounters to get paid out before, they get their day in court. First off, believe women, like take their accusations seriously.
Sure.
Should do their due diligence to make sure that this is the truth. But it seems a little sketchy. Obviously, Shannon Sharp, super easy target. Like, oh, I believe this immediately. Like, this all makes sense to me. Like, immediately.
I'll say this, though. Because
hit the allegedly button.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
My legal team's not strong enough yet.
With the Trevor Bauer stuff, you kind of know how I was on that.
Sure.
This one feels different to your boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into weird stuff. And I don't even mean like bedroom stuff. I mean, I'm just not into weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're like, hey, let's line up the night for success. Tell me what success means.
What does that mean to you?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I need to know. And if part of that is unconsensually filming me at any point, regardless of activity, that's weird. It's even more weird if it's in like a intimate moment and then distributing that to anyone.
First off, that's gross.
It's gross.
Like, you're not a teenager, like with your first intimacy. You got to run off and tell the world because you're a man now. You're a grown-up. I've hoped you've done this before.
Ugh. Well, and sometimes you can take the broadcaster out of Fox Sports.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, come on, Skip.
He was one of those dudes too that was.
Hey, Fox is undisputed on sexual assault charges. That's what they're undisputed on.
And then you're gonna.
Did I get the right show, Carlos? Did I get the right show? Was it the right one?
Yes, you did.
Yes. I flipped a coin in the air and I went with undisputed.
See,
I didn't know which was which.
I didn't know that was a show.
Yeah. See,
I thought you were talking about like the Michael Irvin stuff, and I was like, I thought that was NFL Network. I actually don't. We won't give this a month's full of coverage, but some people will. That Busby guy you're talking about is behind all these lawsuits.
Yeah.
He's now banned from practicing law in New York.
Yeah.
Hot start. Off to a hot start there.
Well, I don't know if this is his start, but I mean, this is his current slump. Ugh. Anyways, weird. Tony Busby seems like the type of lawyer who would chase an ambulance.
Yes. Or in this case, chase sexual assault charges.
Yeah. Also, these are civil cases. Like, that's a thing. Like, not to be the guy that tries to explain the bar to you because I only ever belly up to it. But civil, there's no guilt, just liability.
Yes.
Yeah. Civil suits rarely go to trial.
I mean, this is more like you hand over a check and you sign this gag order.
Yeah.
At the same time, you hand the check and the papers like, you got to sign this one first before you get the check. Yeah. Can't talk about it. We're not admitting guilt, but you can't ever talk about it. You got to give me that check back.
Civil suits, the justice system suits, civil cases, the justice system is set up for people to settle. Like, that's what the goal. Like, we don't need to go to just figure it out. Figure it out. We don't know how much Watson settled for. I mean, you've heard the estimated numbers, but between 30 and 55 million is a lot.
It's a lot of money.
It's all the money.
Nah, he's got a bunch left.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That would put a dent in my bank account.
I would go
if I got
into the negative. I would go into the negative right now.
Somewhere in between 30 and 55 million dollars.
Put me in the negative.
Yeah. I'm not buying tonight, boys. I got bad news.
How much was this podcast deal you said? It was like 9 figures, right?
It's a lot of money.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't say, by the way. I didn't want to look it up. Not worth it.
Well, I also don't know what it is, but I know it's a lot.
I mean, there's just some people who get famous.
Yeah.
And you're like, the man. Why'd you pick that one?
I'm going to say this on this.
The man.
That's the name of the show?
No. I'm talking like the proverbial the man.
I hate.
Yeah.
Okay.
We try to fight the man usually.
Hey. Ask me what I rage against.
The machine?
No, yeah. Well, but that's also the man.
Also the man.
It's also the man.
Man is the machine. The man created the machine.
Super boring radio take, super real
also
life
known
take.
as they.
They.
A lot of people
them.
call them they. Yeah.
Them.
Yeah. What they've been up to?
Yeah.
Can't trust
They
them.
don't want you.
Uh-huh.
Super boring radio take, super real life take. Get more data on this one.
Hard agree.
Wait for data.
Yeah.
Brad, you're supposed to be opinion. Here's my opinion.
Yeah. It's sketchy as hell on both sides.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. It sounds flimsy on both of their accounts.
Friend of the show who's listening right now, who spent Easter with their loved ones and lives the super traditional claiming to miss the Pope life today.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to act like anything that's weird is the weirdest thing ever. I promise you right now, the dynamic of a lot of individuals in this great country that you claim to love, they're into much weirder stuff than cinematography, videography, streaming, terabyte holding deals.
Two things that didn't surprise me this morning is the guy who I already thought was a little sketchy.
Yeah.
The guy I already thought was a little dirtbaggy did sketchy dirtbaggy stuff.
Yeah, wild.
Allegedly. And the Pope, all these videos rush out of him doing a bunch of nice things. Oh, you don't say. A little yin and yang for my morning cup of tea, huh?
Wild.
Yeah, crazy. The personal spokesperson for God is nice. Oh, okay. Duh.
Didn't change a lot, but said a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
The only smoke and fire on like SA cases and this kind of stuff is whenever the person who I'm only talking of high profile individuals, right? I'm talking like celebrity status as you define what a celebrity is, friend of the show. Is if they superfine the far right political party. Like if they make like a switch where they're like Russell Brand did,
mm-hmm.
They're super into that world and yearning for the support of that world. Because it's about to come out. It's 100% tile trend.
Sure. Yeah, I've seen it over the past few years.
Yeah.
I mean, historically, a lot. Throughout the history of the world, people hiding behind the church. The last few years, like, oh my God, it's just so predictable.
Mm-hmm. And it's like you say predictable, it's trends. Like you're pulling from like solid data.
Yeah.
Now, but there's something
now that indulgences aren't recognized by the church,
Carlos, that's a thing you could buy.
You could just
yeah,
you could pay for your sins.
Yeah,
literally.
I big Catholic Church history guy.
You are.
I am. Yeah.
How many popes have there been?
There've been 200. Francis was 256, I believe.
Is that real?
We're on 257 after the conclave in 15 to 20 days. No later than 20
There
days.
have been 266 popes.
There we go. 10 off.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That'd have been closer than I thought. I would have said like 4,000.
I remember it ended in the 6.
Yeah. They didn't live as long. So they went through a bunch of them
Hey,
a long time ago.
400 popes from now is going to be wild.
Dang. You're going to skip a number? Like people skip
13th.
the 13th floor.
It'd be interesting to see how the church tackles that one. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how quickly people go through popes.
A lot of factors. Age, if they abdicate the seat of the Holy See.
No, don't make me Google something.
Abdicate. Step down.
Step down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Step down. My apologies. Yeah.
That's
Step
right.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of factors. I think the shortest serving pope was only like 2-3 months. And he died, got elected, served for a little bit, died.
Hold on. The guy that God picked died?
Yeah.
Wait, he doesn't pick the pope.
No, Cardinals picked the pope. So he actually did.
How many?
St. Louis or Arizona?
The Vatican FC Cardinals.
All right. Well, this is a good one, though, because one of the Benedictines, one of the Pope Benedicts was from St. Louis.
We haven't had an American pope.
No, he was like the cardinal in St. Louis. I mean, he might not have been American, but
he was.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I'll do some research on that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Pope Francis was the first pope from the Americas, so North and South America.
Now we know.
Now we know. The majority of them have been Italian.
There's a bunch. Well, duh. Go with your backyard if you're going to go. There's something like 130-ish cardinals or something, Van.
Mm-hmm.
And Pope Francis put over 100 of them in their spots.
Whoa.
Yeah. So when he was picking the winners, that's the phrase I'm going to use. I don't really know if it's a competition to be a cardinal. I don't know.
I believe it is.
There's
Okay.
certain parameters you have to meet. It's like like minor league baseball. There's levels
holiness,
to it. Yeah.
miracles.
I wouldn't say miracles, but you be a deacon, a priest,
Who can
an
shoot
abbot.
the coolest finger guns?
That's again,
When
it's not
you
the one.
say something beautiful and transcendent, and you go "Pew, pew, pew, pew," at the end. It's not a lot of the points, but it's points.
If Van was the Pope, that's how you would point in your cardinals. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, here are the formal requirements. This is to be a cardinal, not a pope.
Okay, number one, let me guess. Be Catholic.
Number one is at least be ordained as a priest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Now, number two, which is going to come as no surprise, be a man.
Like step up when your people need you, or just like genetically?
Genetically.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got
Also,
a
the first one would be nice too.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of other suggestions, but those are the only two.
It's just those two.
Yep.
Yeah. I assume it's similar to be the Pope.
Yes, except that is elected by the College of Cardinals.
Yeah. So you appoint a bunch of cardinals. You got your eye on the next pope.
Ozzy would be one of them. Ozzy Smith would be one of my cardinals.
Really?
Yeah.
Not historically.
Bob Gibson.
Nope, definitely not Bob Gibson
Okay,
historically.
I see where you're going with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Stan Musial.
Yes.
Stan the Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Albert Pujols.
Yeah. Well,
Now.
Yeah.
Now that
yeah.
South America is represented.
Now, heads up, update alert. Pope Pope alert. Pope alert. Pope alert. There's one official requirement to being the Pope.
Let's hear it.
Must be a baptized male.
That's correct.
That is it. There
Hey,
you go.
you know the most likely cardinal to become Pope?
Oh God, I feel like I'm going to be able to get this one if you give me just 1
Yeah,
second to
go
think
for it.
this through. Is there one named Church? There has to be a St. Louis Cardinal player whose name was Church. All right, I don't have it. Give it to me.
That's a good guess. Not where I was going with it.
Okay.
It's obviously Tony La Russa.
Because he's
Italian.
Italian.
He's
Yeah.
Italian. He's the manager. He's used to working in a position of authority.
Mm-hmm.
Drinks a lot of
Yeah, there we go. That's on the list.
drinks a lot of the blood of Christ.
He is over the age of 80, so he's not eligible to vote in the
And he
conclave.
doesn't have to drive anymore.
Yeah, the Pope Mobile.
Yeah. No more DWIs.
I forgot about that age of 80 thing.
Yeah, so cardinals under the age
Yeah.
of 80 can vote in the conclave, but as soon as you hit 80, no longer allowed to vote in the conclave.
The sports angle here is how many votes it'll take before white smoke. So
Who's the holdout?
Yeah, we should over under it.
Yeah. If
How many ballots it takes?
Yeah,
Or
if
days?
Ken Griffey
Well,
Jr.
yeah.
wasn't a unanimous vote into the Hall of Fame, the next Pope definitely can't be unanimous.
Well, it's an anonymous vote. So, of the 133, is that what it
Correct,
is?
yeah.
133 Cardinals, 2/3 of them have to pick the same one. But in theory, you can just pick yourself every time because it's anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually you end up getting there. I'm going to give me a realistic number. How many, can you look up how many times it took last time to get Pope Francis in? How many black smokes?
It was 3 ballots, if I recall. I'm going to double check
That
myself.
seems very small.
That's pretty quick.
I would have lost very quickly. Because to me, I mean, I'm thinking first season of Survivor unorganized voting.
Okay. Take a minute.
So the 2013 papal conclave was on the 5th ballot.
Cool name for an album.
The 2013 papal conclave.
Just papal conclave.
Just papal conclave.
And it
Hello, Cleveland.
Yes.
We're papal conclave.
it lasted 24 hours. It was one of the shortest conclaves in history.
Collusion.
But the longest, and these conclaves can there's no time limit. The longest conclave.
I don't know what that word is.
It's
Also, like-
so a conclave is it's an election. It's where all the cardinals meet and they get
Fly in a pack together to warmer weather.
to the Vatican.
Think
They
spring
all
training.
Yeah, and they all get stuck in this place. No phones, no TV, no information to the outside world, no
Okay.
newspapers. They get locked in sequestered is the proper term.
All right.
But they get locked away, and then they go and vote for the next pope in the Sistine Chapel.
When do they smash this Pope's ring?
So the Pope's ring gets smashed as soon as he
Not
dies.
as soon.
As soon as he is pronounced dead.
First of all, I don't think that's accurate because I believe with the belief system of the Pope and specifically the Catholics, don't they kind of hold out hope he'll be back in like 3 days? Or is that not a thing?
That was one time in history.
Okay, so
that
they
this
don't.
happened.
Yeah.
So they don't just like wait a week to just be sure.
The ritual is the chief cardinal will shake and say the Pope's
Manager.
baptismal name 3 times, shake the Pope 3 times, say his name 3 times. If he doesn't respond, they check
Oh, like
pulse. and-
CPR training.
yeah, they check his pulse and everything. And once they realize that he is gone, they'll break the ring right away.
Right away.
Are you
Right
familiar
away,
with this
yeah.
sealing ring? Are you familiar with this thing?
Mm-hmm.
So the longest papal conclave papal election was from 1268
In the
to
morning?
80
All right.
to 1271.
2 years?
It was begun after the death of Pope Clemente in November of 1268.
First of all, you said there was no one.
Clement.
From
Sorry,
okay,
Clement.
I'm back. All right,
Sorry,
back.
we're baseball guy for a second.
Sorry.
And concluded with the election of Pope Gregory X on September 1st, 1271. So from
So
November
3 years.
1268 to September 1st of 1271, this conclave was going on in Vatican City. They were sequestered away, voting.
Can you imagine the back of the house talks on this?
Like,
Hey, our pigs keep a dying.
Yeah.
We need a new pope. What's today?
yeah, and think about that too. You have people going over the age of 80. Like they just
Just
get
waiting them
bounced.
out?
Yeah, you just get
Yeah.
bounced from the conclave, and the new guys come in.
Well, they're not new guys. It's the 10th time John has won. It's,
If you haven't seen it, I can recommend the movie Conclave. This is the name of it. It came out earlier this year, or late last year. It was
Okay.
up for a lot of Oscars. If you're curious about how the next month is going to go in the Catholic Church, this is a good movie to watch. It explains a lot.
they board up his house.
I've been waiting for the Pope to die to watch Conclave.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
finally.
yeah.
It
Go
gets
watch that movie.
It jumps right to the top of my viewership list.
It is really very well done.
Sorry, Black Mirror. Conclave bumped you.
And
I'm
they
not-
have boarded up the apartment now too.
Okay. And I'm not trying to go to commercial break on a sad note, but do you guys think he saw John Cena win the 17th time the WWE
Just one of the
/
last
World
things.
Heavyweight Champions?
One of the last things he saw, he goes, "I can go now."
Do you think after
That's what broke his heart.
do you think when,
When
he
he
was
betrayed not only the WWE,
yeah, okay, so
not only Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes, but he betrayed himself.
and he goes,
And that was the final straw
I can't take
of
this anymore.
Pope Francis's life.
you can't see me.
Yeah, first he had to hang out with JD Vance. Then he saw John
He
Cena.
said there's
go
no
heel.
reason to go.
They're like,
He's
"This
like,
was a rough Easter."
He said 2 days in a row. It's a bad.
2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Woo, Sports Channel. NFL draft this upcoming Thursday. Come hang out with Van and I. We're going to be at the Hooters on San Mateo. We're going to do the program 4 to 7, like ish, 6:45, whenever Ice Hopes baseball comes on.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Reno all week. Ice Hopes are in Reno.
Worst places to be.
I spent last weekend in Nevada myself. Good in doses.
Sure.
Okay.
Vegas, definitely. Little bitty small
my
doses.
Gosh, dude.
When we covered the Super Bowl and we were there for, 8 days?
Yeah, over a week.
That was too much.
Too much.
It was too much. Being on the Strip is too much. I'm sure if I was at a resort in the middle of the desert, it would be fantastic. You got a little spa treatment, a little golf course, good food, lovely views. But on the Strip, it's
a lot.
Yeah, it's too much. Reno, I don't know.
Carlos Tenorio is producing for us today. He brought us something. He says, and I guess this is factual, the odds for Nick Castellanos to hit a home run surged today after the death of Pope Francis. Does anyone have eyes on the Phillies box score? Can we get that up?
I'm pulling that up right now. Price Picks, he is a demon. 0.5 home runs today.
Oh my God, dude, we should take that. We should take that.
Phillies game is on. They're in the third inning. The Mets are up 2-0.
Castellano at the bat.
Looking at the box score right now.
Okay.
Nick Castellanos.
Bad news.
0 for 1 with a strikeout.
All right,
That's the one.
Well, you can't hit him on he's not Mike Trout, guys.
Yeah.
Phillies got Bohm, Rojas, and Stout to lead off.
He'll get at least 2 more cracks at this bad boy.
He's batting 5th today.
Now, as I recall, the Castellanos rub was weird broadcast tragedies.
No.
No.
Like any tragedy.
It started with a very unfortunate hot mic in Kansas
Tom
City.
Brennan, I just said that. Broadcast
2020.
tragedy. That's what I said.
But after that, it continued.
That's how people started noticing.
The
But
Queen?
you could even go before the Tom Brenneman thing.
No.
His first hit was the day after September 11th.
Well, that's
his first Major League Baseball hit was the first
no one's
minor
playing
league game he played after September 11th.
All right, for the
It was his
record,
first Major League hit.
no one was playing baseball on September the 12th.
Correct. When they started back.
And I don't think he's been playing baseball that long. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, Van, that was 24 years ago.
He was a youngster.
But for real, it does kind of feel like every random tragedy. Hey, did you know if Nick Castellanos hits a home run today, that's exactly 1 day after Carlos Tenorio's battery died on the way to Santana? What a tragedy.
Oh, my goodness.
Can't believe this.
Now, July 5th, he did it when they were honoring, when the Royals broadcast was honoring a World War II veteran that had died. March 27th, earned his first hit in a Phillies uniform.
Press pause.
Yeah.
World War II veterans are allowed to die now without it being a tragedy. They are very old.
But during the memoriam of him,
Literally
he
the
went
memoriam.
bomb. He also
TV
did it
playing
on
somber
But
music.
that's not a tragedy.
He also did it on May 30th, 2022, during a Memorial Day segment. He
It hates
homered
dead
on
people.
October 11th, 2023.
Oh, you guys are jerks. Just because the souls of these individuals is transported heavenly into the bat of Castellanos for a home run.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Hey, hold on. And he's biting a home run to heaven.
He also got a walk-off hit the day Willie Mays died.
Yeah.
July
It does
13th,
not stop.
2024. Castellanos blasted a 2-run home run in the second inning of the Phillies game against the Athletics.
What was that word you were using last segment to talk about the group of Cardinals?
The College of Cardinals.
No, it was the name of the movie.
Oh, Conclave.
Okay, my apologies.
Yeah.
It wasn't after September 11th.
Well, of course it wasn't.
It was after Osama bin Laden was killed.
That's not a tragedy.
2011. Should we just say his events,
sure,
noted events?
20th anniversary of September 11th attacks.
What was the name? What was that word again?
Conclave.
Castellanos, Conclave, Christian Rock. There's something there.
You know what? He has to. Are the Phillies playing the Cardinals anytime soon? Because that would be if the Phillies were playing the Cardinals during the conclave, that is prime Castellanos.
And if the Cardinals brought in a closer named Jesus
Pope
something,
Jesus Pope.
anything. If Jesus Church came in,
yeah, Jesus Iglesias.
There we go.
Yeah,
that can't be a real name.
I bet there are so many Jesus Iglesiases in the world.
I bet you're right.
The Phillies do not play the Cardinals till May 12th, and the conclave probably will be over by then.
But we don't know.
But we don't know for sure, so you never know.
Castellanos.
He put a conclave into that one, deep into left field. Goodbye. I don't know.
If the next Pope has to be a Cardinal,
it does.
Brendan Donovan seems like a dude. It's Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Don't forget this Thursday, the NFL draft is at Hooters. Van and I will be there with the program.
Yeah.
Carlos will be there late.
When he's done producing this program.
Yeah, well. Come hang out with us. If you want to hang out with us. Low key, Van is funny in person if you buy him a drink.
I'll have one in me already.
If he feels like he owes you because you bought him a drink, Van's very funny.
Now hold on. Friends of the show who come hang out, they know first one's on me. Hopefully they reciprocate.
Yeah, you do that.
I do that. Yeah. I'll run up a bar tab for you.
Van
for the show.
wants you to feel like you owe him one. It's all a work. He's the John Cena of sports talk radio.
Is that good or bad? I'm not sure.
That's the whole point. Yeah. It's 2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Sports Animal.
Welcome back to the program where I must have been out of town a few days. I got the The allergies, boys.
Welcome back to the Cottonwoods.
Yeah. Welcome back to Two Men On. Worst weekend in the history of professional sports was this past weekend. No hockey was good. No basketball was good. No lies are told right there.
Unfortunately, agree. Also, WrestleMania, the majority of it, underwhelming.
Oh, a lot of people are saying what you're saying.
Not the best, well written or well acted or well choreographed.
Just say performed.
Entertainment.
Make me so mad.
No Shyamalan twists, no big surprises.
No, there was one.
No collusion, no, except for Travis Scott, which he sucks.
Now,
It made
Paul,
it worse.
When Paul Heyman gave the chair to CM Punk, then betrayed CM Punk, then gave the chair to Roman Reigns, and then betrayed the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
I can't do that, my tribal chief.
And then when he gave the chair to Seth Rollins.
Our true champion.
Our
Two Men On's champion.
Multiple time friend of the show, Seth Rollins.
Back to back to back friend of the show, Seth Rollins.
It was incredibly good. That was incredibly smart. Paul Heyman is... Pro wrestling is fortunate that he chose it. If he would have chose hosting the Tonight Show, he would be hosting the Tonight Show. He's that good.
A talented guy. He's funny.
He would
and then
be
now like he goes back and forth so often. Now that he's bad guy again.
Yeah.
He's best.
The best.
He's best at heel manager.
Yeah. When he does that little scowl. When he goes, my name is Paul Heyman. And the crowd's doing it with them. He goes, nah, you don't deserve this. Anything he chose. If he chose to be the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, he would be way better than who they currently have.
I think a Rock would be better.
You think The Rock would be better?
No, I think A Rock.
I mean, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Just A Rock.
E Rock?
No.
Are you talking about E Rock?
No, like thing you see get landscaped.
If Paul Heyman
like
managed the Mavericks, they would have acquired Anthony Davis without giving up Luka Doncic.
He would
Like,
give the Lakers
yeah.
a bag of chips and is like, I'm really taking a risk. You're
A
lucky to
bag
have
of
this.
chips? What do you know about pro wrestling? They obviously would have got a table, a ladder, or a chair.
And he would have said, this is all I'm giving you, and you're going to like it. And the Lakers would have said yes.
I can tell for a fact you have no idea how Paul Heyman talks.
No, it was the spray tan that was very distracting to me.
On who? Paul Heyman?
On Paul Heyman on Saturday night. It was a tough spray tan to look at. He looked much better today in his interview on the Pat McAfee show, but Saturday night's spray tan was rough.
I'm going to trade you Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, and that's going to go poorly for us. And that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. That's what he would say.
Oh, that's what he says?
That's what he says.
Oh, okay.
Nico Harrison said today, I quote, I did know Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it was to what level. Unquote. What?
Well, the guy that got you to the finals all by himself, like LeBron style. Oh, that guy? The guy who sold the most jerseys in the NBA? That guy?
Van, do me a favor. Call Will Smith.
Which one? The reliever for the Dodgers?
Nope.
The catcher for the Dodgers?
Nope.
The actor?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Have him walk over to Nico Harrison. And this is up to you. Either slap him like the way he slapped Chris Rock, or diagnose this man with a concussion or CTE. I blew the joke.
Okay.
Dang it.
Close.
I know a little bit about public relations. I know a lot about media. Nico Harrison is a PR company's nightmare. You can make a bad decision and recover from it with good relations. He can't keep doubling down on his own ignorance.
Yeah. He's taking the fall. He's the patsy for the new ownership group. Like, don't get it twisted. The Mavericks will be the Las Vegas Aces, probably.
I feel like that's already a team.
It is. It's the WNBA team that
Yeah.
Mark Davis owns. They
You
play in the
idiot.
Mandalay Bay Convention Center.
Well, already a basketball team. Looks like a perfect fit to me.
They won the WNBA title 2 years ago.
Who?
The Las Vegas Aces.
Oh, when you said they, I got confused.
Kelsey Plum was on that team.
Dog, I'm not trying to make fun of you right now on the show because you are my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you know that?
I like the WNBA. Golden State just got a
God,
team.
dude,
So
I need a second.
go Valkyries. It's the new squad. Was the Phoenix Mercury.
What happened to the Phoenix Mercury?
Nothing. They still exist, but the Bay Area got a team, so I had to go where the roots lie.
That you don't live there.
Family's from there. So the rest of all my teams were or still are. A lot of them were. I think I have 2 teams that are still there.
A soccer team?
Three. Sorry. The Earthquakes are still in San Jose. The Sharks are still in San Jose.
Don't just brush over the earthquakes like we know what sport that is.
What is an earthquake?
Well,
Fine.
an earthquake is when 2 tectonic plates rub against each other, and everyone doesn't like
It's
it.
when a mommy and a daddy.
Yeah.
A
really
mommy
love
plate,
each other.
a mommy plate, and a daddy plate.
When
Really love
one
each other.
when one plate is just bottoming hard.
They put on some of Jodeci's early stuff.
That's a good
We're
reference.
gonna make you a little brother.
Make some divots in the ground.
And rock and roll all night.
Well, again, what are the earthquakes?
Yes. Anyway, the earthquakes that are not scientific are the Major League Soccer team in San Jose.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
there you
now
go.
we know.
Now you know. And
Not Oakland though.
no. Oakland has a pro soccer team that plays in the Coliseum.
They do have that.
Yes. The Oakland Roots. They're in the same league as New Mexico United.
Well,
Right.
we are familiar
We're
with
familiar
the
with
Oakland Roots.
Those losers. But you're choosing San Jose over Oakland in this one.
Well, that's not an MLS team. So, and I'm not going to choose against New Mexico United.
You're pretty conflicted.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's so many cities in California for you to
Cherry pick from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
For you to John Kerry or
Oh, you're a Giants fan now. That the Athletics left.
No. I am. I'm going to be honest. I think I've watched 4 A's games this year, so I'm not going to even act like
4 more than me and Van have watched.
I think I've watched more Isotopes games and listened to more Isotopes games right here on 95.9 FM 610 AM with Josh Hujon
AM 610.
than I have watched A's games this year. So I think I care more about what happens.
Well,
to
your
the
heart's in the
Isotopes.
right place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're making good decisions.
Yeah, you
It's
did
called-
well.
You're growing.
Good job.
Go
Right.
Isotopes.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe you're not the same person you were when you were 12. That's incredible.
Thank you.
Unlike Nico Harrison, who still believes he's has a Mamba mentality from his 5 minutes he spent with Kobe Bryant some years ago.
I didn't know Mavericks fans liked the best player in franchise history as much as they do.
I didn't know plants liked water. I didn't know they liked the sun.
You know how
News
I'm,
to me.
you know I'm really difficult to like watch television with.
You say Nico Harrison feeds his plants Brondo?
It's
Probably
it's got
probably
what
grows
plants
them in the
want.
dark.
It's got what plants need.
Electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
They crave it.
Start dumping Gatorade.
So I have this real problem. I think it's because of pro wrestling, where I can't suspend disbelief well. It's like if I watch a television show, right? And there's an issue on the show, and maybe there's like a reoccurring character that causes the issue. Like think like Carl from The Walking Dead or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what Nico Harrison is to me.
Sure.
Like if 90% of your problems come from 10% of the people in your world, like get rid of those 10%.
Yeah.
Nico Harrison.
How does Kramer keep making these bad decisions?
I can't believe this happened again. It's literally a week later. And how little I know about mental health, there's something wrong with this dude. Like something wildly wrong. I'll read a thing about him, and we're talking about the world of sports and play. Like I do recognize fandom as a thing. I am not confused. And then I'll read like a weird quote from like an Elon Musk. I'm like, these guys both have the same whatever this thing is.
Delusions and delusions of grandeur. Delusions of
It's
grandeur
not.
paired with actual delusions.
Is it grandeur if you're like, and he either thinks this or he's presenting this, right? He either thinks or is presenting. I just assumed Dallas hated Luka as much as I hated Luka. Dash Nico Harrison.
Yeah.
Like, what is that mental whatever called? Because I don't know.
Madness.
It's like a projection.
Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is
why is it the second best?
Holding on to a belief even when you're provided with contrary information. The contrary information just hurts your feelings, so you dig into your beliefs even further. I believe that's what he's doing right now.
I thought cognitive dissonance was the second track on Pearl Jam's 10.
No, it's a 7th track.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, after Even Flow.
Yeah.
You think that's what it is? I think it's something more deranged. It's like it's literally placing your core values on masses of other people.
No, he's placing his core values on continuing to get those paychecks from the ownership group. And they're like, hey, Patsy, hey, whipping boy, keep going out there and acting like you don't know how popular Luka Doncic is. We're just going to keep parading you to media sources and embarrassing you just so deeply to your core where you cannot sleep at night because you know tomorrow is just going to be another soul-sucking, embarrassing interview where you have to act like you didn't get fleeced on this trade and give away the second best player in the NBA.
He did this one time before. We haven't really talked about this on the show because it was kind of square peg, round hole. But he flubbed the Steph Curry deal with Nike years ago, too.
Yeah, that was very funny.
If you recall, and you won't know this, Carlos, because you spend your time watching Junior League soccer from California. But
just the Bay Area. When
he was running Nike stuff, I guess he was doing a bunch of copy paste with presentations.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I don't know, maybe it was somebody who was a big deal. Maybe it was like LeBron. Well, LeBron would have already been there, but whoever else, Kevin Durant or someone. And he just copy and pasted a presentation to Steph Curry. And Steph Curry was like, this is the most embarrassing thing of all time. I'm going to Under Armour.
Yeah, kept calling him Steven.
Kept calling him Steven
in the meeting.
Mr. Wardow.
And like, no, it wasn't Steven. It was Stefan.
Called him there it is.
It was Stefan.
Not Stefan, called him Stefan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Del Curry was there. Do you remember this? Like, number one, don't. Number two, definitely not in front of my dad.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. My dad now knows. And this is why you never tell like your friends when you're fighting with your spouse, because your friends will never forgive your spouse. Like, they don't love your spouse as much as you do.
Sure.
Be like, you can't go to your dad and be like, no, I still love Nike. It's money.
Yeah.
And he's like, cool, you could love Under Armour's money just as well. And they don't call you Stefan. Ugh.
Yeah, then letting Jalen Brunson walk for nothing.
Nothing.
Hey, and they got nothing out of that. He just walked.
I was confused because I didn't think he was the stuff, but he is the stuff.
Michael Bridges. Who else?
Harrison Barnes.
Here's a quote right here from Del Curry. A PowerPoint slide featured Kevin Durant's name, presumably left on by accident, presumably residue from repurposed materials. Oh, gosh. He says, quote, I stopped paying attention after that.
So dumb.
Del Curry said they did maintain a poker face throughout the entirety of the pitch. He said their decision to leave Nike was already in the works. There you go. There's a handful of dudes who should never work in sports. I've talked about this before, unrelated to this. Number one, they're all fans. No one who's a fan of sports should work in sports. It confuses you.
Right. Puts the blinders on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Looking through rose-colored glasses.
Me and Van just had this talk this weekend. Duke City Championship Wrestling was hosting a viewing party for WrestleMania over at Uptown Sports Bar. So I reached out to the guys hosting it. Van was involved in this. And I'm like, hey, how'd it do? And they're like, best night ever. WrestleMania killed. It was the most fun we've ever had. I go, that's not my question.
Yeah.
Did people show up? That's the mentality you have to make sports work. Oh, it's so good. Basketball team bonded over fellowship. What?
No.
How about they bond over seats sold?
Yeah.
Because we're on a winning streak.
Butts in chairs.
Yeah.
Vibes don't sell tickets.
Hey, sometimes they do.
Yeah,
though.
they do. They do.
100% do.
Not 100%, but yes, sometimes they do.
The Cumbia King.
Now I'll use the Albuquerque Ice Tubs as an example. They don't win all their games.
Right.
Things a blast out there, though.
Oh,
sure is.
Love Topes.
There you go. Nico Harrison. Just a dumb fan. It's Tube It On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
what you gonna say. Play who you gonna play.
Welcome back to Two Men On. NFL Draft is this Thursday. Ben and I will be at the Hooters on San Mateo doing the program. Come hang out with you boys. We want to hang out with you boys.
Yeah.
Please and thank you. I was looking at the NFL Draft as it's coming up. I don't think any Lobos are going to get drafted.
I think the only one would be Aaron Rodriguez, our punter. And that's no disrespect to everyone on the pro day, but I just, again, friend of the show, Lobo fan, not going to like this, but UNM football for a long time, not very sexy. Last guy we had drafted was Jason Sanders, also a kicker.
No, that's not true. The Jarek Reed got drafted.
I thought he was an undrafted.
Why do you think that?
I don't remember him getting drafted for the Seahawks.
It would be a weird thing for me to make up.
So Jarek Reed and Jason Sanders. That's 2 in 10 years? 12 years? Something like that?
Yeah.
Like, good luck to Aaron Rodriguez, though.
He can kick it.
He can.
The punter, Tyson Dyer, he's an Albuquerque Aardvark, and that's way cooler than being in the NFL. So there's that.
The punter from down under.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Brian Urlacher. That's what everyone talks about.
Yeah, Hall of Famer. Terrence Mathis, another guy.
Yeah, Don Perkins.
Robin Cole.
Well, even like Terrence Mathis was like a 6th-round pick. It's not like he was...
Had a good career, though.
He did have a good
career.
career.
Not when you're taken. It's what you did with the opportunity.
Still drafted.
I hate when you talk to me like Tony Robbins.
Corey Bojorquez?
No, we had a quarterback drafted in the 30s by the Lions. Couldn't tell you who it was.
Oh, your football knowledge doesn't date back to the 30s?
Yeah.
30s or 30 years ago?
30s.
With Stoney Case was the quarterback.
Pre-World War II 30s.
Back before they had running backs, halfbacks, and fullbacks.
Yeah.
Just had
backs.
I am excited for the draft. It does a couple things. Number one is it ends nerd chatter, which is my least favorite part of the draft.
No. 2 weeks after. 2 weeks after the nerd chatter, because you got a nerd chatter for a couple weeks about who went where.
Nerds, when it comes to the NFL draft, will tell you that a guy that has never played a professional snap will save a team. And it's wild to me.
You talking about me and Kyle Pitts 3 years ago? Is that who you're talking about?
On day one, he's going to save the team?
Yeah.
And he's played him like Kyle Pitts, good example. Went to Georgia, is that right? And he played in front of some big crowds, played in a very pro-style university system, was set up for success, immediate impact success at that level, more than maybe anyone ever. Could not do it.
Now, hold on. He is a second tier starting tight end. That is fantastic. 25 GMs in the league. We're like, damn it, I'd trade my guy for that guy. If you can get out of the 7 rounds, no one needs to hit the jackpot and get the next Tom Brady. You need half of your picks to be starters on one side of the ball, and it's a good draft.
If you
don't need Hall of Famers, you need a guy that actually contributes and aren't busts.
Teams that are successful are the teams that have the most guys that are top 20-ish. If you have at a position a guy who's within like the 20 best in the in the game, you're good. Now, if you have a team that's got a bunch of top 15 guys, like you might go undefeated. That's so hard to do. So hard. See Cam Watts running really fast? The Lobos Pro Day?
Yeah. My goodness, that man could move. He might be sneaky.
He might get drafted. I don't know the rules on drinking drinks at Hooters this Thursday when the boys host Two Men On for our draft special. But we need to figure out the prop. Will a Lobo get drafted? It won't happen on Thursday. But will a Lobo get drafted? Something.
Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Realistically, Saturday. Saturday. Someday.
I know where my bet's going to be. Also, draft day. Can't order cans or bottles.
Only drafts.
Only drafts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this, with the way that the transfer portal works now, there might be a guy who gets drafted that at one time was a Lobo.
Yeah, sure.
That could be a thing.
Yeah. Oh, there would be multiple.
Yeah. What's Cam Ward? Is he a Hurricane? Is he a Cougar? I don't know. What is Shadur Sanders?
Buff and don't know Jacksonville State's mascot.
I do.
What is
It's
it?
The Sanders.
It is now.
Yeah, the Colonels.
It is now and for throughout the rest of the time.
Everyone knows that. If you get Travis Hunter first, who's picking first?
Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, they should take him. Or Cam Ward. Don't do whatever Van's going to say. Don't listen to Van about offensive linemen. Don't take that.
Cam Ward's an obviously number one pick.
He's obviously,
but he's not the best player in the draft.
Travis Hunter.
He's not.
Jackson
I
State's
would-
mascot's the Tigers. Sorry.
I said that.
More Tigers. Okay. Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter is the best player in the draft. Flip a coin. Ashton Genty is the second best player in the draft because the other two guys are tied for the best player. And I wouldn't even think that Cam Ward would be fourth, but I'll put him there because he's a quarterback.
Oh, he got numbers.
Yeah.
He won games.
A lot of guys got numbers.
There's all those stupid stats that nerds bring up.
Mm-hmm.
On passes where he throws with anticipation over 30 yards, his completion percent rivals the greatest of all time. Shut up. Shut up. He's sexy out there. That's the only definer we need. Is he sexy? Yes. Draft him.
He might have both. And he could play. A lot of number one overall picks didn't pan out.
When taking snaps from under center
things.
Jamarcus Russell.
on a 3-yard drop, Shadur Sanders' completion percentage is under 33.33, repeating, of course, percent. Like what?
The best of the best at it get it wrong so very often.
Every time.
People who get paid ungodly amounts of money to scout these players and talk to front office personnel and make these educated decisions are wrong way more than they are correct. Like your Mel Kipers, your help me out. Who else?
I would not be able to. That's the one I know from Jerry Maguire.
From his hair.
Yeah.
From him having weird hair.
Hey, this is like
all of those guys have never been more wrong every single year, but we just keep letting them do it. Like there should be competitions, like just like a March Madness bracket.
Okay.
If you can get more draft picks correct to the teams you pick correct, then you get to be Mel Kiper for a year. If you beat all of the experts, congratulations. You get to be Mel Kiper.
Now, are you talking about where they get drafted, or are you talking about how they perform? Because I feel in this scenario, if it's performance based, that I would be the best in the world, because I would say everyone would fail.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone's a bust.
Yeah.
And you're only wrong 3 times a year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Dang, look at Fred. 29 out of 32 again. Dude's a stud. And I would say thank you for putting the emphasis on stud. Final half hour of the program. When we get back, it's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Welcome back to 2 Men On. In the Why Is This a Story file. Van, you reported to me that it was being reported by the social media account for the Reported that Cooper Flagg is declared for the NBA draft.
And the biggest moment of sports so far this year, Cooper Flagg is going to go to the NBA and be the obvious number one pick, unless the number one pick goes to the Mavericks and Nico fumbles that one somehow as well.
Where's he from?
Cooper Flagg?
Maine?
Maine. Yeah, Maine.
All right, so if he goes to the Trailblazers, they play in Portland. There's a Portland, Maine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to do all the math here. I just need the best possible conspiracy move. If San Antonio gets up to 1.
I think the Church of Latter-day Saints, based out of Utah, they just sold all their interest in 23andMe and Ancestry.com because maybe they had some inside information that they're going to win the number one pick, and they want to extend Cooper Flagg immediately and keep him in Utah forever. This is all making sense to me.
He better end up on a team that has a long-term plan. Because the NBA needs him to be really good. Because there's a bunch of like very wasted talent in the NBA right now.
He's going to be good no matter what.
Sure.
I don't think he's going to be transcendent good.
Bradley Beal's good. DeMar DeRozan's good.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be best player in the NBA good. I think he's going to be an incredible basketball player. And the thing is, you're not taking a chance. Like, you just know he's going to be good. He doesn't have to be great. Like, as much pressure is on him, like, he has to be great to live up to the hype.
I think this means that he knows whatever the fix is in for the NBA. Because the NBA didn't want him to go back to college for another year of fat NIL checks. So he went to the NBA. This is very conspiracy, what I'm saying. And said, hey, I'm willing to play in San Antonio. Or I'm willing to play in whatever market, right? And the NBA said, yeah, we got you, fam.
Yeah. You talking Patrick Ewing year?
Yeah, right? Because right now you can do that. You can just go back to college. You're like, I don't like the way it's looking at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go take $5 million.
So miraculously, you're saying some big market that barely missed the playoffs.
Well, hold up.
Is going to catapult up to the top of the draft board.
I don't know if it'll be big market. I think it should be. But yeah, I do think that. If he's like, hey, Houston, no matter what, the NBA goes, yeah, we know.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we got you. Houston, no matter what. If he walked in and was like Houston versus everybody, cool. If he shows up to the NBA draft in a red suit
instead of a red hat.
Well, but the thing, I mean, the draft will already be there, so I guess that's not really that weird. I don't know much about Cooper Flagg's personality. I just know he's got a sick pull-up game.
Utah Jazz has the highest likelihood. Obviously good fit because of obvious reasons. Washington Wizards, that's a hellscape that I would not wish on any athlete.
Dang.
Charlotte Hornets, bummer. New Orleans Pelicans, New Orleans, lovely. Organization, disaster. Now, 5 to the Philadelphia 76ers. Well, fifth highest probability of getting the number 1 pick, Philadelphia 76ers. That's a good fit. And then after them, here comes like the big markets who are super close to turning it around. Brooklyn, Toronto, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas right after that.
Sacramento.
Chicago.
Chicago would be the one. You know how many people live there?
1.7% chance of the number one pick.
Well, and with that one, they still had that worldwide pull from the Jordan rub.
Yeah. I mean, NBA wants a new dynasty. San Antonio Spurs.
That's what I think it is too. Fixes in. We wrap up the program whenever we get back. Tune it on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Welcome back to Two Men On. Don't know what your plans are this week, but we'd like to invite you Thursday night. Van and I are doing the program from Hooters on San Mateo. NFL draft party that night over at Hooters. It'll be a lot of fun. Come out with us. The draft is a neat one because it's exciting for about 2 seconds, and then there's a lot of hanging out
in between picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a better place to do it than Hooters on San Mateo?
I can't think of a better one.
Yeah. Samesies.
I want, in my draft experience, to be able to react with it with friends of the show. Like just watching in the studio, boring. Like just sitting at the no. Get everyone together, put on your colors, come out, cool, you know. Celebrate, get real excited, get real disappointed. And I mean, whatever team you're a fan of, right? Like, I don't care. Especially if it's one at the top, though. Because I'm this guy too. Like, I'll curb your enthusiasm real quick on whoever you take. Like, say you're the Giants or whatever, you get Shedeur Sanders, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't got to go on since Eli Manning, you know. Like, that's what I would do. And then you say, Brad, I'm pre-ordering the jersey right now on Fanatics. Or
Sure.
Like, okay. You told me.
Whoever gets Cam Skeetaboo.
Now who's he?
They're going to go nuts. It's going to be day 2, day 3. But he's the little feisty white bowling ball from Arizona State.
Oh, broke his friend's arm at the golf course.
Correct.
And there's a lawsuit, but he can't.
Immediate fan favorite. Like, you want a popular player, you want to sell jerseys.
Yeah.
Snag that guy a little earlier.
His name is lame.
His name is amazing. He's like the only Skeetaboo.
He sounds like he would be I was going to say buddy, but I'm going to say co-pilot because it makes more sense. Sounds like he'd be the co-pilot in like a Disney Star Wars miniseries.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it would be like Tuck and Skeetaboo. And as they move around life. I was going to say the universe.
On last episode of Skeetaboo.
It's got the scroll.
That's where it's for X-Wing. I don't know if like a lot of huge personality guys in the draft besides Hunter Sanders and Skeetaboo. Who's that one guy who's like just going to be the immediate fan favorite that everyone's going to love regardless of results?
Lobo punter, Aaron Rodriguez.
Love it. There you go.
Do punters get drafted?
Yeah.
Hey, if he could possibly be Mr. Irrelevant this year, and then we hang out with him at next year's Super Bowl, that would be sweet.
Raiders took great guy in the first round.
That's what are you doing? You're naming the best one of all time? That's going to be your example?
Yeah.
Your example
The
is
only punter taken in the first
the
round.
standard by which all others should be judged?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where'd Shane Leckler go?
I think he was like a 4th, 5th. Very also by the Raiders.
Yeah, that's why I picked his name.
Great.
They're
Him.
the only franchise dumb enough to take a punter and a kicker in the first round.
Hey, Sebastian Janikowski worked out very well.
No, he did not. He
All-time
got
leading
very
scorer in Raider
fat.
history.
He did not work out at all. He got incredibly fat.
You could kick the ball. That's all that mattered. Jamarcus Russell was the one that was the issue.
With a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we talking specifically about fat players?
That the Raiders have drafted.
We've done that on this program before.
Also, for as much as he sucked, it's not like he went MIA in Tijuana the night before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I still don't think we would have won that Super Bowl.
You don't think Barrett Robbins was the catalyst too?
Yeah, that's what was really holding Rich Gannon and the Raiders together.
And you can't do that stuff anymore. Herded like cattle.
Yeah, according to MLB trade rumors.
All right, welcome.
Your Oakland Athletics Carlos, have just promoted Nick Kurtz.
Yes, I picked him up on fantasy already.
So,
leading the Pacific Coast League in bombs.
Broadcasters beware. Don't say his name too fast.
Yeah.
Take your time. Enunciate. Find a nickname if you can.
Curtsy. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
The most
now
cliched sports. Hey, your name with a Y or IE.
Yeah. Unless, of course, after he hits a home run, he does a little
Nick Curtsy.
Yeah, then I'm in. John Cena kept teasing his moves at WrestleMania, and the crowd was booing, and he did a little bow. It's awesome.
My guy. That's my hero right there.
I was so sports entertained.
Good. That's what they're there for.
Who's they? Pro wrestlers.
The pro wrestling.
The pro wrestlers.
Yeah, pro wrestling in general. They're there for your sports entertainment.
Oh, they did the thing they were trying to do? Sweet. It's tough in the world of sports when it's as bad as it was this past weekend outside of WrestleMania. Because there's a hangover from golf because the Masters was last weekend. No hockey playoffs were worth watching. No NBA playoffs. Everything was like 10 points.
Yeah.
And baseball being in week 3.
Only me and you care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no offense, like a diving play by a tall shortstop does not need to be on TV. That's a cool highlight.
Does. Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah, one time.
Oh, that no look behind the back snag by Tyler Anderson.
Oh, no, I was
play
talking
of the year.
That's not what I was talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Different play. Magic happens every day in the sports world.
Nick Castellanos update since baseball brought it.
Yes, we're ready.
Bottom of the 6th. Castellanos has been up 3 times. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
2 Ks though. He's swinging for it.
Yeah, he's trying.
He's not just trying to put it in play.
Do you think
He's
that's in the
trying to
back
honor
of his
the Pope's
mind?
legacy.
Angels. We need angels in the outfield.
Back
right here.
of his mind? No. That is at the forefront of everything that he's considering all day today.
I'm not trying to spoil fun stuff for you guys, but heads up. He's trying to hit a home run every day.
He hasn't done that
today.
But the extra pressure today.
Yeah. He hasn't done that quite a few games. He's been rough on my fantasy team this year. Brian Reynolds about to replace him on the bench.
I can't believe that all these scrubs that you put on your fantasy team aren't doing well. Nick Castellanos is not a player.
Francisco Lindor's on there. Paul Skeens.
Are we
Kyle
doing a
Schwarber?
segment on your fantasy
You know how
baseball
little anyone cares about your fantasy?
I
baseball
hardly
team?
care about my fantasy
If we
team,
weren't
to
a
be
minute
honest
away
with you.
from wrapping this thing up,
I would
you'd get a
hate you.
stern talking to.
Hit you very hard. I wanted to spend this last minute talking about how all the idiot hype you were giving torpedo bats, and that seems to come back to the median.
Yeah, I told you that was going to wash away real
Yeah,
fast.
you did.
Told you. It's just the new axe handle bat. Nothing is different.
Hey, everyone, why don't you change the exact approach that's made you successful and got you to this degree of professionalism all of a sudden?
You're going to be in the top 1,000th of 1% at your sport
Mhm.
and then just decide to change on whatever the recent hotness is.
Good idea.
It's not spider tack. It doesn't work. Spider tack works.
Big spider tack guy.
Yeah. Let them all use it. You can have torpedo bats.
Give the pitcher spider
Let
tack.
Paul Skeens have spider tack.
Oh.
When he gets hurt and his entire career is ruined, that's going to be one that saddens me.
Or he could be the new Iron Man.
Yeah, that'd be sick too. Carlos Tenorio producing the program.
Happy to be on. Go Warriors.
It's like the one Bay Area band thing we didn't name today. Steph Curry gets like 31 and there's a big 10-point win. What do you do with that?
Playoff
Sports
Jimmy,
Talk Radio?
dude.
Yeah.
Playoff Jimmy's coming for you.
Van, final words?
Oh, my goodness, my friend. Too much for the time allotted. Anything we didn't cover, make sure you check out tomorrow morning on the opening drive with Jeff and JJ.
Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.
See you at Rio Bravo tomorrow, Burke.
It'll be fun. We'll have tacos.